Hey, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about some of the options that you have when it comes to fulfilling your orders on Shopify. If you have a Shopify store or you're looking to create one, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the fulfillment stage of this process. When you're getting orders, you're getting traffic, getting customers, how do you then actually make them happy and you fulfill these orders seamlessly? A few ways to go about that. Make no mistake, this is a problem basically that you have to solve in your business. And once you solve it, thankfully, once you figure out this, you create the foundation and the systems, you don't have to worry about it as much. As a business owner, you're always having to work on your business and to figure out these different systems so that everything can run smoothly from the point where someone visits your website to when they check out to when they get the product on their doorstep or it's handed to them, or they check out and they can see they get the package and they open up and they're happy and they're excited, and you create a brand experience there. So when it comes to this, basically, you have a few different stages. Number one is doing the order fulfillment yourself. So if you're doing the order fulfillment yourself, you're basically the one who's keeping track of inventory. You're doing the pick and pack stage that traditionally another company might do. You're having to maybe do package inserts. You're having to figure out how do you configure this in order to minimize the amount of space that you're taking up. You're basically doing the order fulfillment yourself. You're having all these boxes that are shipped to your garage or to your apartment or to however it is that you're storing all this inventory. And as that inventory comes in and you get orders, you're then shipping them out and you're fulfilling those orders yourself or with the help of maybe one other person. It kind of depends on the scale of your operation there. When it comes to that, a lot of the times when you're making you're creating an order sort of on demand, let's just say, where customer wants some type of order and you're a jewelry creator and you have to actually make the jewelry and then you're going to ship it out. That makes a lot of sense, I think, to do the order fulfillment yourself, because unless you have a pretty good idea of the sense of demand of the type of jewelry, or if you're creating this product yourself, you have a demand of the different SKUs and stuff, you probably have to fulfill that yourself. In addition, you might have other types of components, like maybe customers making an order, part of that order can be fulfilled in-house because there's some customization aspect to it, whereas the other part of the order is pretty much standard for every customer out there. So in that case, you can use an external service or an external location and have inventory and you can ship it out from those locations. So it's kind of a little bit of different elements here. But typically, when you are doing the orders yourself, usually you're dealing with a much smaller volume size. It doesn't make sense as you're growing your online store, you have more and more customers, you have more people to try and fit this all in your house or to try and fit this all in your office space. It's just a huge nightmare. It's a headache. It's dealing with lots of spreadsheets. It's keeping track of inventory. It's keeping track of returns. There's a huge amount of headache that goes along with that. So typically, I would say that self-fulfillment usually is only good if you're making orders on demand, or you have a very small volume size, or you actually kind of want to learn a little bit about that before you maybe outsource this to another company. In addition, kind of in the middle here, you have other types of order fulfillment. So you have things like print on demand, or you have drop shipping. So these are the types of services where, like, let's just say with drop shipping, you actually aren't having to hold any of the inventory or worry about fulfilling these orders because it's being done straight from the manufacturer or straight from the provider of that product. In addition, if you're doing something like print on demand, this hat is a print on demand hat. Or the books that I've written that are available on Amazon, the Kickstarter Launch Formula, Real Estate Crowdfunding Explained, Blogging for Beginners, like all these books that I've written, they're all with the Amazon Create Space. Well, it was Create Space, now it's kind of more transitioning to Amazon services. This is a print on demand service. So basically what that means is that when someone orders something, that product is created to demand, basically to the actual order. So the factory, or in this case the service, is making that order custom to that person, and it's basically printing it on demand. So you don't have to worry at all about the inventory. You don't have to worry about returns. You don't have to worry about shipping or fulfillment or anything like that. The problem with print on demand typically is that it's usually lower margins and there's a limited amount of customization that you can have. So if you're doing for example, a print-on-demand book, or you're doing a print-on-demand product, you probably have to work with the actual, I was gonna say the ingredients, but I guess what I mean is like the actual materials that the service provider has that they can make available to you. So you can only make a hat out of certain types of fabrics, or you can only make a book looking a certain way, or out of the types of sizes that they offer, or out of the type of paper, or these different things. So there's a limited amount of customization as a creator that you can have have when you're using a print-on-demand service. At the same time, there's less headache because you don't have to worry about that whole different phase. Then you sort of have on the third phase, which is where I think crowdfunding, a lot of different Kickstarter campaigns can really fit nicely into, specifically when, you know, if you're doing your first crowdfunding campaign and you have like 100 orders, you can usually just fulfill that on your own. Same with like 150 orders, you can probably fulfill that on your own. When you get to 300 orders, when you get to 500 orders, or you have a Shopify store that's doing that much volume regularly, then it makes sense to begin to explore other options like having a fulfillment company actually handle all of your order management. So what happens with a fulfillment company is they essentially get all of the inventory of the product shipped to them. And once they get those packages, they then sort them, they apply barcodes, they manage the whole inventory, and they basically upload all of this into their software. So you can see in real time the amount of inventory you have, where things are going, all that kind of stuff. They manage that with barcodes and with their internal software and system. And their sort of responsibility, number one, is managing all of this. Number two is dealing with returns, inserting marketing, packaging labels, handling the packaging, all these different things, doing the pick and pack, putting things correctly into boxes so they can be shipped out most efficiently. They're basically doing the legwork, or what you'd have to do on your own if you were trying to fulfill this in your own home, or you had to fill this in your garage. So this kind of the reason why I usually recommend at a certain point in time that a lot of entrepreneurs and online store owners shift towards having a fulfillment company handle all of this is that while yes, it's obviously going to be giving up a little bit of money up front in order to set up that system, at the same time, you are giving up something completely when you're doing the fulfillment yourself, and that is you're giving up your own time. You're having to invest your own time. You're tired after doing all this fulfillment. It's a drain on a system for you as a business owner. So remember, talking about business owners, it's about setting up a system here. So when you have a fulfillment company or fulfillment service that can basically just take all this inventory and ship it out and keep track of all of that for you, you then as a business owner can focus all of your time on the things that matter. Maybe that's marketing, maybe that's sales, maybe that's setting up other systems like customer service, creating new products, creating new branding, these different things that you can use to actually grow your company. You as a business owner can focus on the most important needles the most important things that are going to move the needle going forward. I want to take a second to introduce you to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Fulfillrite. Fulfillrite is a turnkey solution for helping you get the products out there to your customers and to your backers. Whether you're doing a Kickstarter campaign or an Indiegogo campaign, eventually you're going to have to do order fulfillment and get those rewards out there into the hands of your backers. So what these guys do is they basically offer a streamlined service for you, and they take all that headache away. I highly recommend outsourcing this element of your campaign because it's going to make everything easier in the future. If you want to learn more about Fulfillrite, I'm going to include a link down below in the description of this YouTube video. But in addition, you can also check it out on the web at fulfillrite.com, and you can learn more there. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the video. There are, of course, like other components here that kind of come into play when it comes to fulfillment. So for example, getting the products into your country so you can then ship them out, or you're gonna have a fulfillment center around the world that's gonna be closer to your customers to cut down on shipping costs and time and all that stuff. Shipping, fulfillment, duties, customs, these are all things you're gonna have to become a little bit acquainted with. One of the great things about the sponsor of this YouTube video, Fulfillrite, is that they are willing to answer a lot of your questions when it comes to this. So I urge you, if you're interested in the third option, to go and reach out to them and to learn a little bit more about their services. But also, if you're just kind of now getting a primer on Shopify and trying to learn how you would set up this online store, you don't yet have like a fully fledged online store, I have a great YouTube video out there that goes through a Shopify tutorial, which shows you step by step how you can set up an online store, how you can do this pretty easily, get this up and running, make it look really beautiful, really nice, really make it so it looks very professional. I have a great YouTube video out there on that. There are a lot of other ways you can also grow your online store. You can grow an online brand. So I recommend going into the archives of this YouTube channel and checking out some of this. And finally, my expertise as a person is on crowdfunding. So I basically teach people on this channel how to use crowdfunding as a way to raise money, as a way to attract a crowd of people, to get a lot of media attention, to really have an explosive launch event when you're trying to create a new product. And you can use crowdfunding to kind of bridge the gap, if you will. If you have a lot of like minimum order quantity that you have to hit as a creator or as an entrepreneur, you've gotten the quote from the factory, you have the prototype, all this stuff. Now it's like, how do I scale this thing up? Crowdfunding is an incredible way to do that. And so many people just like you have done that with Kickstarter, with Indiegogo, etc. And I devote my channel and a lot of the books and the education I have out there showing people how to do this. So I invite you also to learn a little bit more about that. But my name is Salvador Briggman. I hope that this tutorial has been helpful for you, and I will see you next time.